be a 6th semester student at IBA, and my interest lies in marketing and business analytics. And I'm from Lahore, and I have 5 family members, my parents, and I have 2 brothers. My father works in the sales and marketing department, my mother is a teacher, and my elder brother is doing CA, and my younger brother studies in school.
Okay, so were your parents, relatives, or any close friends entrepreneurs?
Yeah, one of my uncles, he has worked in various organizations, and then after working in various organizations, he recently started one of his entrepreneurial journey, which is about in the pharma industry. Role models, yes, I have a lot of role models. Among them, Aisha Irshad is one of them, and then Aisha Ajmir is one of them. And then I have worked with various social organizations, and which led by foundation, which was led by Rahat. She is basically working in India. She is one of them. Like the list goes on. And as for the entrepreneurial journey, I have started one of the startups named Bringing Smiles 2021, and it is a social venture. And the main purpose of it was to help those people who couldn't afford to go to school or who couldn't afford their next meal during the COVID. So the main purpose of starting it was for them. Thus, a little bit about my startup. It is that in which I paint the hand painted apparels or like clothing pieces. Most of them are like scarves, dupattas, shirts, and waistcoats, and then I paint them and then I sell them. The stitching and the painting, all of the things are done by me and my tailor, and then I sell the products to the people who are willing to buy, and the profit margin in this industry is a lot. For example, if my cost is around like 40%, so the revenue on which I got is like 60%. For one example I would like to give, that is initially the one dupatta costed me around like 1500, but the selling price for it was like 5500 to 6000, so there was a lot of profit margin on it. This idea came to me during the COVID days, and it started from a very funny journey. Once I approached one Instagram page who was selling hand painted cloths, and I approached them, and there was one scarf that I loved very much, and I asked them the price, and it was like basically out of my range. It was like for a simple piece of scarf was for, I guess it was for 8000. So just I thought myself, okay, in 8000 I can buy a whole dress. So I was not able to afford it. Then this idea came to me that I am good in art, so why not I should do this for myself. Yeah, I started it in the summers after the freshman year. So in the freshman year, I have studied very little courses that were related to entrepreneurship and business modeling and all that. But I started it learning from YouTube how I can start an Instagram page, how I can increase my sales. So basically, it was like a YouTube learning which I made.
So before starting your venture, did you have any sales or marketing experience?
No.
Okay, so how important was it to establish your venture? When did you have an experience?
Okay, so it was like I just started, I painted a cloth for myself, and then just one night I came with an idea that why not start it as a little social startup and work for the social cause. So the basic purpose of this organization was that I have one maid who was working at my house during the COVID days, and one day she came and she said that her children have left the school because they do not have the funds to pay their fees, and she is the sole breadwinner of the house, and her husband is a drug addict. So I was just painting my cloth, and then I was painting, and she was telling my mother, and during painting I just got an idea that why not combine both of these things and start something for the social cause. So I came with an idea to start a social venture, paint the cloth, sell it to the people who can afford it, and then from the revenue that I got, 75% was spent on the education of those children who cannot afford to go to school, and 25% I keep it with myself so that I can buy the materials for further painting and all that. To expand my startup by collaborating with various startups that are operating in this industry, and specifically the clothing industry. There are a lot of startups who have reached out to me, who are selling two-pieces cloths, and they wanted someone to design the dupattas for them. So I am thinking to collaborate with them in the future. Thank you. So the basic purpose behind was that, as I have already told, was a social cause. I wanted to give something back to the society, because I believe that if we are living on this planet Earth, the greatest step, the rent that we can pay on by living, because as I live in a hostel, so we have to pay the rent to live in that hostel. So I believe that if you are living on this planet Earth, then the rent that you can pay is by helping the people that are living with you. So the basic idea was that to help the people, to provide them with the sources. As you know that during the COVID days, most of the people who were like working as daily wage earners, they could not work because all the processes were shut down. So my basic aim was to help those people so that they can start working, or if not working, then they can get the daily groceries to support their families. The feasibility analysis I conducted, in that way I searched a lot of YouTube videos in which the people were explaining how they started their Instagram business and how they have increased their sales. So I just after watching those videos, and basically I watched the videos that were of the people working in the subcontinent, because the domain and the demographics of the West are different from that of the South Asia. So I watched the videos of people working in India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and how they established their businesses. And apart from watching the videos, I watched like the startups that were already doing great in this domain, and that were also from India and Pakistan. So after watching them, their workings, how they are posting, how they are reaching the influencers and all that, then I applied those workings on the people that were living in my society. So how I can start my venture, whom people I have to reach so that they can buy the products, and then our sales can increase. So as I already mentioned, the startup that I reached out to was selling the clothes at a very expensive price. Then what I did was that I searched the Instagram pages working in the domain of public clothing, hand painted apparels, and then I reached them and then asked the prices on how much they are selling the products. And after like reaching, I guess almost 5 to 6 startups, I formulated a price for my things which were not expensive and which were not like too cheap, so that I cannot cover the cost. So basically, at first, the money that I got was from 75% was from my savings, and then 25% I got from my parents, and they were like, okay, you can work, and they were like a bit skeptical in the beginning that will I be able to figure it out, how would I do this, how would I, because it was in the summers of 2021 I guess, and then my parents were like, yeah, how would you manage it with your studies? They were a bit skeptical, but at the end I believe that I can do this. So I just put in all the money that I was having and then started it, and I got good revenues from that. Industry was super saturated because there were very big players in the industry. They were reaching out celebrities. So as you know that celebrity endorsement plays a very critical role for a startup. So I was like starting from the beginning. I do not have any celebrity endorsements or the influencer endorsement, and I reached out to some influencers and they were asking that they would charge me like 25,000 for posting the product on their feed, and they will charge 15,000 for just showcasing the product on their stories. So in the beginning days I couldn't afford it because I have to put in the funds, I have to start that venture. So it was like that, and then I started reaching out to those influencers who I just explained the cost to them, and there were some good people who just said that we will do it without any cost because it is for a social cause. So in the beginning that helped me a lot. The financing is that at the beginning, as I mentioned, that I put in all my savings into that, and then the financing that is coming is that the revenues that I got. So I just keep 25 to 30% of the value with myself and then donate the other things. As I'm a student, so I like don't have any job or something, so my family support me financially. And then for example, if I get an order, so I just ask my mom to get all the things for myself so that I can pay them. And as I'm living in Karachi, so my family is in Lahore, so if I have got 2 to 3 orders at Karachi, so I just visited the nearby marketplace area or in the southern market, and then got the products from there. And then, because after living at hostel, like I am an independent, like I have to go to independently go to the market, got the products and then pay them. But if I am at my house, so my mother does it all for me, she get the products. I obviously accompany her while going to the market, but mostly they accompany me.
And what about the value proposition of your
The value proposition, I believe that the thing is that I use all the good quality colors that are like just imported from Japan. So I believe that as I am doing good, using the good materials, and all the materials are waterproof based. I have reached some startups and they were using those paints that were like the color will fade away after 3 to 4 washes. So I don't want the customers to get dissatisfied because they've spent a lot on that product and then the colors will fade away. So I'm using all the good colors. There is like one this size of bottle and it cost me around 1000 per color. So I'm using all the good quality products, and to those customers to whom I have sold those products, they are like really liking the quality. So I believe that this is one of my greatest value proposition.
Okay. Can you tell the key cost structures?
The key cost structure. Okay, so in the as the inflation has hit Pakistan, so in the beginning days I used to get one dupatta for 1000 rupees, like after a lot of bargaining. So in these days, like they cost me almost around 1500, and then I have to get all the things ready, like I have to get its sides stitched, and then I have to like ask the tailor to apply some laces on the ends of the dupatta. So it cost me around like 17 to 18. I have to get the lace, I have to pay the tailor for attaching the lace to the dupatta, I have to get the fabric itself. So it cost me around 1800. And then as I have mentioned that I have got all the colors, so I just use the colors on that. So the colors, the biggest cost that I have to cover is definitely of colors. So in the start I bought all the colors for 30,000. So as the colors are like reaching high, and when I visit the market they are saying that these are the imported colors, so their prices have increased. So the biggest cost is of the colors, and I just buy all the colors at once. I get all the colors and then use them. So the colors that I got for the first time, they lasted till like almost 1 or 1.5 years. So I believe that the colors now will cost me around 45,000 plus, because in the initial days they were like 30,000. Yeah, uncertainty is reducing, but as the inflation is going up and up, so people are just thinking that why would they spend a lot on just a single piece, like only a dupatta or scarf. Instead of that, they can get a whole suit in that price. So this is one of the biggest uncertainties for me, and it has increased with inflation. But of course there is one market that is willing to buy it, that their main idea is that they get one dupatta for them and then they can use it with like 4 to 5 dresses of them. So yeah, uncertainty from as compared to the beginning days, uncertainty has reduced certainly, but the inflation is a key player in the market. When inflation comes, the people, the reducing power, the buying power reduces, and people are not willing to buy such an expensive.